Ladies and gentlemen, while the other Warlock specs may have been relatively similar to their BFA counterparts, one spec that does not is the Affliction Warlock. We've got a little bit to go over here, ladies and gentlemen, so strap in, drop your socks, and grab your cocks. We are going deep. The Affliction Warlock has undergone quite a lot of change, so I'm going to take it one step at a time with you. I've even had some people contacting me saying, we're pretty sure Affliction is missing a spell. So we'll take it as we can, and we have some evidence of that. A lot of testing has gone to the Affliction Warlock over the last 24 hours from our man, Mr. Finn, and this is what he has to say and share with us. So we've got this new spell, this Malefic Rapture, this new spell, and the way this spell works is really interesting. It costs a soul shard. This is your soul shard spender, and it will do damage to every single target when you cast it that has a dot on it. It will find them. It works. We've managed to get Finn to go something like 90 yards away, gateway and all sorts while dots were ticking, then cast Malefic Rapture. As long as you have a target, doesn't even matter if that target has a dot on it, it will seek out any targets you currently have a dot on and deal damage to it at a seemingly infinite range. Very, very weird. But that also means, though, if you go into like an AoE scenario and you put dots and everything, you get all these shards, you Malefic Rapture them, they're all going to pop, is the way it was described. Like they're all bursting, similar to an Unholy DK when you do this damage. Now, it is the same spell that seemingly you use single target, which is way less rewarding, right? You can imagine, you can pop Malefic Rapture and you see all these enemies go, and they just kind of pop with all this disease and plague that you're throwing at them. When you do it single target, as it doesn't have a particularly great animation right now, it feels a little weird. It doesn't feel very rewarding at all. And maybe they could look into something else there for an actual shard spender on a single target. That would maybe give it a bit more fun. Now, this is going way, way back. The Affliction Warlock is going into full-on dot style, all right? With the current setup right now, you can have 8 dots ticking on a single target. You heard me right. 8 dots. If you spec it to siphon life, it almost feels like it's impossible to keep up with the amount of dots you have. If you put in Vile Taint and you put in the Kyrian dot as well, the Scouring Tithe, which we'll talk about in a second, then you have that and UA, and you've got Agony, you've got Doom, you've got Corruption, you've got a Haunt, you've got all these dots that you can pile into one target. And with the haste levels and starter character, it doesn't even feel like it's worthwhile because you're not getting any Malefic Raptures in there. You're just kind of constantly reapplying dots as they run out and expire. Very, very weird. One of the most notable changes, of course, is the change to Unstable Affliction. Right now, you guys will be used to like spamming UAs onto a target. Now it's limited to 1. So that's not 1 per target, it's 1. And it seems to be like they're trying to make UA, Unstable Affliction, the priority target dot, because you can only cast one of them, right? As soon as you try and cast another one on another target, it'll take it away from the other target. Which means that, let's say you go into an AoE pack, or it's a bolstering pack, right? Where one of the mobs has much more HP, that you would throw the Unstable Affliction onto the higher health target while you work on the other one so things die evenly. Unfortunately, though, it's still limited to this 10% bonus damage, which isn't a great deal considering its new role as sort of like the priority target. It doesn't seem quite enough when you're managing all these other dots on other targets. So it could either do with a little bit of a buff there, or perhaps a full rework, something that siphons all the local dot damage. It does the 10% plus any other targets around it. It'll start siphoning life towards that one target that has UA on, like a beacon or something along those lines. There are, something to give it a little bit more weight, considering it's a spell you will want to keep up, but it seemingly is just there for the sake of being there, which isn't that fun. Vile Taint might actually get some play. Vile Taint, I mentioned Vile Taint early on, but we are returning to this dot style of play. It actually applies. The reason is we're so dot-based now with Malefic Rapture that it applies a dot to every single target. This makes it pretty goddamn good. It does damage to everything every time you press Malefic Rapture, rather than just the single, the one target Phantom Singularity is going to hit. So you might actually see this mix in of some older talents that kind of got left by the wayside actually making an appearance here, which is something that should be really exciting for Affliction Warlocks as they get to mess around with this, especially those old school Affliction Warlocks that were used to exceptional multi-dotting and the skill cap involved with that. It looks like you might get to see a lot more play with that. The extra zone ability is a good one for the Warlocks, and we're always going to highlight the Kyrian ability, or the zone abilities that we feel are the best, or are the most fun, I should say. The Kyrian ability Scouring Tithe, as mentioned in the other Warlock videos, is another dot, yet if the target dies while Scouring Tithe is on it, you will gain 5 shards. Yeah. And it also, so you can snipe that into a target, so something like that, and you can then chain Malefic Rapture for quite a while if you time it correctly. So if you can snipe a target with, let's say you're doing a big AoE, you throw the Scouring Tithe on something that's about to die, you've got all these dots up. As that's happening, you're spamming in your Malefic Rapture, making all these mobs pop and do all this kind of stuff. Some of you are probably hoping that we'll show off some good Sow the Seed of Corruption action. Not working right now. It's still not doing the 3 that it says in the class preview. It's still doing 2. So it's not really getting that big pop that we're looking for it to actually do. Right now, Seed of Corruption is generally being used just to kind of put corruption on everything, similar to Vile Taint, and then utilize the Malefic Rapture after that, rather than get the benefit of the big explosions and those kind of things. That's not really a thing that's happening. So it's a super satisfying way to AoE, though, with this Malefic Rapture. You combo it with Drain Soul Sniping, you get some very, very fast-paced play with lots of dot management thrown in. And I personally think that's exactly what Affliction Warlocks was signing up for when they read the description. So a return to form for that. Hopefully it's got a little bit of work to do yet. As with any class that's undergone a number of changes coming from BFA into Shadowlands, they're the ones that are probably going to change the most over the course of this alpha. So we'll bring you any news we can when things get updated. Thank you very much for listening. Let's get on to something else.